Most people planning a move to Seattle lock in on the city itself and never look past it. Just outside Seattle, there are 4 small towns where people are actually building the life they moved here for. I've helped hundreds of families land in the right spot, and these are the communities I keep pointing them towards. All right, let's talk about Town 1, Edmonds. You pull off the highway, park downtown, and something shifts before you even step out of the car. That is Edmonds. The Puget Sound is right there in front of you. The Olympic Mountains are sitting across the water, and you're walking down a main street with old-fashioned street lights, flower baskets overhead, galleries and coffee shops on every block. It doesn't feel manufactured. It feels like a town that's been here for decades, because it has. Edmonds is one of the few places near Seattle that actually feels like a neighborhood by the water. That's genuinely rare out here. Now, the heart of it all is what locals call the Edmonds Bowl. That's the flat, walkable district that wraps around the waterfront and ferry terminal. You've got local shops, restaurants, coffee spots, and a Saturday farmers market running half the year with family-owned vendors only, no franchises, the kind of market that becomes a weekly ritual. And then you've got the Edmonds Center for the Arts, anchoring regular concerts, live theater, and art walks. This isn't a sleepy suburb with nothing going on. The food scene here is getting better fast too. Established Seattle restaurants are opening up Edmonds locations. New spots keep landing on the main corridor, and you've got waterfront dining with Pacific Northwest seafood right on the Sound. The lifestyle piece is strong, and it keeps building as more energy flows into this downtown corridor. Now here's what else makes Edmonds stand out. You've got the Sounder commuter rail. Most Seattle suburbs require a car for everything. Edmonds gives you a train directly into downtown Seattle. And speaking of commute options that change the whole equation, when we get to Issaquah and North Bend later in this video, you'll see how the transit picture shifts depending on which direction you go. Now back to Edmonds, the downsides, and yes, there are always downsides. Edmonds commands real prices, especially in the Bowl. Single-family homes run from the high 800s to well into the millions, and the most desirable waterfront-adjacent properties go well above that. For a place that feels like a small town, the price tag surprises people, and inventory in the best spots is tight. When the right home comes up in the Bowl, it moves fast, so you've got to be ready. But if you want a walkable waterfront small town feel close to Seattle, Edmonds is one of the top options in the entire region. But that raises a fair question. But what if waterfront isn't your thing? And what if you're after a lifestyle that feels more like a permanent weekend getaway? Now, if you're watching this and already leaning towards one of these towns, this is exactly what I help people sort through every day. Reach out through the link in the description and let's have a real conversation about which of these towns makes sense for your situation. Let's keep going. A Friday evening where you can walk from tasting room to tasting room, heated patio to heated patio, live music in the background, mountain views on the horizon, then you drive 5 minutes home. It's not a vacation itinerary, that is a regular weekend in Woodinville, and it's the reason people who move here almost never want to leave. Woodinville sits about 35 minutes northeast of Seattle and just 15 minutes from Bellevue or Redmond. If you work in tech on the east side, Microsoft is practically next door in Redmond, and Bellevue is a short drive south. And with the new East Link Light Rail now connecting that whole corridor to Seattle, the commute picture just got meaningfully better for the east side. So what makes Woodinville unlike anywhere else near Seattle is the wine country. Over 130 wineries and tasting rooms are packed into a handful of square miles. The Hollywood district alone has more than 40 tasting rooms you can walk between. Nationally recognized producers, farm-to-table restaurants, get the full experience. People describe their weekends here the way other people describe trips to Napa, except they live here every week. And Woodinville is leveling out fast. The Somme Hotel and Spa opened in the Hollywood district in late 2025, a genuine 4.5-star property with a wine cave dining room, a Pacific Northwest restaurant, and great spa services. That kind of hospitality investment signals something real about where this town is heading. You've got the Sammamish River Trail running right through it, miles of paved riverside trail for cycling, running, and walking. Real estate in Woodinville runs higher than a lot of people expect though, mid to high 1 millions on the entry end for single family homes, with well-positioned properties pushing above that. The market here is balanced. There's inventory. Things are moving at a reasonable pace, so buyers, you've got room to work with. The trade-offs are worth being straight about. Woodinville doesn't have that compact, walkable Main Street energy the way Edmonds does. The Hollywood district is destination oriented. You drive to it, park, and explore. Depending on where in Woodinville you buy, day-to-day life can feel more suburban than small town, and a car is essential for most errands. But if you care about food, wine, and being close to the Bellevue and Redmond job hubs, Woodinville stands out. Nothing near Seattle delivers this particular lifestyle at this level. But if your priorities run more practical, outdoor access right outside your door, and a location built for families, then the next town tells a different story. There's a reason families relocating to the Seattle area keep landing in Issaquah, and it's not one single thing, it's the combination. Issaquah is the most practical town on this list, and I mean that as a genuine compliment. It does everything well for a wide range of people, which is exactly why it's consistently one of the most competitive housing markets in Washington state. Sitting along I-90 about 15 to 25 minutes from Bellevue and Redmond, you've got Microsoft, Amazon's East Side campus, and the broader tech corridor all within reach without a brutal commute. The East Link Light Rail connecting Bellevue to Seattle improves the overall picture of the East Side corridor too. Now here's what sets Issaquah apart from most suburbs at this price point. You've got the Issaquah Alps right on the edge of town. Tiger Mountain, Squawk Mountain, these are real mountains with serious hiking and mountain biking that start basically where neighborhoods end. You can be deep into genuine wilderness in the morning and at a Bellevue dusk by mid-morning. That combination is hard to find this close to a major employment hub. You've also got Gilman Village, a historic district with independent shops and restaurants inside preserved farming and mining structures over a century old. It's got real character. Not as polished as Edmonds waterfront, but walkable and authentic in a way that generic suburban towns don't have. And then there are the schools. The Issaquah School District has some of the highest rated elementary schools in all of Washington state. So for families relocating, especially from out of state, the school picture often becomes a deciding factor, and Issaquah delivers at a level that's hard to match outside the most expensive East Side cities. So stay with me through the wrap-up because I'm going to show you how all four towns stack up side by side. That comparison is a part people always say they wish they'd seen sooner. But let's talk prices first. Over here, things have climbed over the past few years. Single-family homes run from the low 800s on the modest end up into the millions for established neighborhoods. The gap between Issaquah and Bellevue pricing that used to exist has compressed, and school quality plus location will do that to a market every time. Their trade-offs are real. Issaquah doesn't have a waterfront. The historic downtown is pleasant but not destination level the way Edmonds is, and I-90 can back up during peak hours between Issaquah and Bellevue. So if commute time is a major factor for you, that corridor is worth understanding before you commit. But buyers who land in Issaquah tend to stay, and that's about the clearest endorsement a community can earn. So if everything we've covered so far still feels a little too close to the city, the last town on this list takes a different approach. Stand anywhere in North Bend on a clear day and look up, Mount Si is right there, a nearly 4,000-foot peak sitting directly above the valley. Unavoidable, a sheer rock wall defining everything about the place. This is where you go when you've decided the mountains aren't something you want to visit on weekends, you want them outside your window. North Bend sits about 30 minutes from Bellevue at the foot of the Cascade foothills in the Snoqualmie Valley. And the moment the terrain starts shifting from suburban to genuinely mountainous, that is North Bend. The outdoor access here is phenomenal in a way that other towns on the list can't match. Mount Si is one of the most hiked mountains in all of Washington. Rattlesnake Ledge offers dramatic views over Rattlesnake Lake on a shorter trail, the kind of hike you can knock out on a Tuesday morning if your schedule allows. The Snoqualmie Valley Trail runs for miles through working farmland right from town, and Snoqualmie Pass is about 30 minutes east, which puts skiing and snowboarding within legitimate reach of your daily life. You've got space, trails, rivers, and mountains all woven into the fabric of the community. The pace of life here is slower, genuinely slower. It's the kind of town where people wave from their porch, where the locally owned spots on North Bend Way have been around for decades. The community is actively investing in keeping that character intact while supporting smart growth. New neighborhoods are coming, new schools, a fresh wave of buyers drawn by more space, and a setting that the closer-in suburbs can't replicate. Single-family homes in North Bend generally run from the high 800s to the low millions on the more accessible end, with Mountain View properties and larger lots pushing higher from there. Well-priced homes move, so the market rewards buyers who are prepared. The trade-offs here matter, and I want to be straight with you. North Bend is further out, and on some days that distance is very real. I-90 between North Bend and Bellevue can stack up during peak hours, and mountain weather occasionally slows that corridor in ways the other towns don't deal with. So if your role requires daily in-office presence, you'll feel those extra miles on a day-to-day basis. Flexible or hybrid work changes the equation. The downtown is very modest too, authentic and community-driven, but not destination-level dining or nightlife. Buyers who move here for the mountains and the pace love exactly that. Now, buyers who underestimate how much they rely upon urban amenity density sometimes struggle with the adjustments, so know yourself going in. For a specific kind of Pacific Northwest lifestyle, North Bend delivers something none of the other towns on this list can. The mountains aren't a backdrop here, they're the whole point. All right, so let's pull all this together. 4 towns, 4 different versions of what life near Seattle actually looks like. Edmonds gives you walkable waterfront charm, a real coastal small town feel, a train into the city, and a downtown that keeps getting better. Woodinville gives you food, wine, and new development energy, an upscale experience-driven lifestyle with the east side job hubs right down the road. Issaquah gives you the practical combination, top-rated schools, outdoor access, and east side convenience all in one place, which is why families keep landing there and staying. And North Bend gives you the mountains and the space, a slower pace, dramatic scenery, and room to breathe that the closer suburbs can't offer. The buyers who get this right aren't chasing the most popular neighborhoods or the biggest square footage. They're the ones who get honest about which lifestyle actually matches how they want to live day to day. Pick the town that sounds like your life and build from there. Choosing where to live near Seattle comes down to one question most people skip. What does a normal Tuesday feel like here? And does that actually fit how you want to live? Get that answer right and everything else falls into place around it. So if you're relocating to the Seattle area and want help matching the right town to your specific situation, email me at hello@mwagnerteam.com. I work with families and professionals making this exact move every day. I'll give you a straightforward read on which of these communities make sense for you. I've linked a video breaking down exactly which Seattle areas people are pulling back from right now and what that means if you're buying or selling in this market. It's the piece that puts everything we covered today into context. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.